Hi, precious heart. Thank you for joining us for our weekly vlog. I know that Awakening Humanity is very aware that even though we are moving forward in the light in wondrous ways, these are still very confusing and often challenging times for the masses of humanity. For this reason, the Company of Heaven is sending forth a clarion call to all who have ears to hear. As this clarion call reverberates through the ethers, humanity's I Am presences are being alerted and inspired to awaken within our heart flames the inner knowing that we have been preparing for lifetimes to be a peace-commanding presence during the unprecedented shift of energy, vibration, and consciousness we are experiencing at this time. Now that Mother Earth has ascended into the initial frequencies of her new solar reality, we are receiving higher and higher solar light codes through the portals of the suns in Earth's lineage. In order for us to remain centered and effective during this greatly amplified influx of light, we are being reminded by the Company of Heaven that each and every one of us already have within us and in the divinity of our heart flame everything we need in order to be a peace-commanding presence. That is true even in the face of the extreme adversity surfacing on Earth at this time. When we respond as a peace-commanding presence in the midst of the adversity manifesting on Earth, we effectively transcend the chaos and are able to invoke the light into the situation at hand in powerful ways. Without remembering that truth, it is very easy to look at outer world appearances and to come to the erroneous conclusion that humanity and planet Earth are spiraling into an abyss of negativity. As the residue of humanity's miscreations are pushed to the surface to be transmuted back into light, outer appearances often create the illusion that everything that can go wrong is going wrong. We are witnessing catastrophic hurricanes, wildfires, earthquakes, floods, droughts, melting glaciers, wars, mass shootings, and an increase in every other painful thing occurring on this planet. It is very easy to get pulled into the fear and anxiety being expressed by the masses. Unfortunately, that does not help at all. The fact is that it is the worst thing that we can do. Remember, our thoughts and feelings are creative. Where our attention is, there we are. Whatever we are thinking and feeling, we are empowering. Many times the Company of Heaven has revealed to us just how powerful our thoughts, words, feelings, and actions are, and how they are co-creating our everyday life experiences, whether we are aware of it or not. When we focus on the negative things happening around the world and empower those things with our fear and anxiety, we greatly complicate the problem. There is a philosophical statement that affirms that knowing. That statement is, when we grieve with someone, we water their garden of sorrow. This does not mean that we should put our head in the sand and pretend that things we observe and experience are not happening, And it certainly does not mean that we do not care or have compassion for the people experiencing painful things or difficult situations. It simply means that when we become overwhelmed by another person's misery and wallow in their pain with them, we actually amplify their suffering. I know that is the very last thing any caring person wants to do, but we often do it unintentionally. When we emotionally descend into another person's pain and misery, we become part of the problem instead of part of the solution. We cannot comfort or lift someone up when we ourselves are writhing in agony and overwhelmed with grief. During this important time, the company of heaven wants us to remember how we can respond to the negative things surfacing on earth in ways that heal rather than exacerbate humanity's pain and suffering. First of all, we need to be aware of the things that are happening around the world. Every day we need to pay attention, and we need to be informed about the negative things being pushed to the surface to be healed and transmuted back into light. However, instead of having the reflex response of emotionally connecting with shock and fear to the things that are happening, we need to deliberately stay centered in our heart flame. Then we can ask our I Am Presence to help us detach from the pain so that we can be a peace-commanding presence, even in the face of the most horrific adversity. At this important time, the beings of light are reminding us that by affirming, I am my I Am Presence, and I am one with the I Am Presence of all humanity, we instantly alert the I Am Presence of every person on earth to stand in readiness to receive the light of God being invoked on their behalf. Once we align with the I Am Presence of every person in that way, we can greatly dissipate their suffering by affirming, I am a peace-commanding presence, and I ask my Father, Mother, God, the I Am Presence of every person, and the entire company of heaven, to envelop every person affected by this event in God's infinite light. Hold each one in an invincible force field of God's protection and divine comfort until every aspect of this event has been transmuted back into light. In order to be a peace-commanding presence, we do not need to fully comprehend why something negative is happening or specifically understand what is surfacing to be healed in a particular event. This is a very complex time, and literally lifetimes worth of humanity's misqualified miscreations are surfacing on a daily basis to be healed and transmuted back into light. To be a peace-commanding presence, all we need to do is remember that nothing is happening by accident. As difficult as it is for us to reconcile this truth with our finite minds, the company of heaven has told us that no one is a victim, no matter what we are experiencing. On a higher level of consciousness, we have agreed to go through that particular ordeal in order to assist with the process of transmuting into light our own and humanity's miscreations. This profound truth will help us to see the bigger picture and to realize that even the most tumultuous event can result in moving humanity and the earth forward in the light. One of the positive things that occurs when people experience any kind of tragedy is that their friends and neighbors open their hearts and instantly feel compassion for the people traumatized by the events. This response allows even the most asleep people to experience what the oneness of all life feels like in very powerful ways. Very often, in the midst of the shock and horror, people forget about their differences and begin reaching out to one another in the most loving and helpful ways. Precious heart, during this cosmic moment, practice being the peace-commanding presence you have been preparing to be for lifetimes. God bless you. I look forward to being with you next week.